it's a best of 5, and that was game 2. So you can't just go on a walk, shake it off, hit the VOD review later, and figure out what went wrong. Like, Team Liquid now, they have to lock in. They are on a must-win situation.
Reverse sweep.
Yeah, you got to reverse sweep the best team in the league that just came back from a 10,000 gold deficit.
Yeah, I mean, that was a wild game because the way it started, I thought it was going to be a FlyQuest stop. When Bwipo gets this triple kill with his counter pick, and Inspired is doing this never-ending invade where Yuuji doesn't have a full third camp by like 4.5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
He's just in his face for so long that he steals away his wolves with Smite, and then it just doesn't leave the jungle until Smite comes back up and steals his next camp too. You're thinking, all right, well, I've seen this one before. You know, Bwipo's just going to run away with it, but TL battled back. They got into a great position, and so far that has not been accurate.
Yeah.
CaptainFlowers plus TL has not equaled TL.
Yeah, I have not been the buff for TL here. That is not the case this time around.
Lose.
Yeah, that was maybe I've got some evil magic over me for Team Liquid here. But we have our bans already done for the first half of this one, so let's see what we've got. Yone, Poppy, Sion banned out by TL. FlyQuest continuing to ban the Varus and Pantheon, along with that Azir here on the red side. First pick Renekton, comfort for Impact.
Yeah, absolute comfort for Impact here, who I think has been actually having a really good couple games, right? He was able to get solo kills in both those games. I do think he is playing well, but has not resulted in the team winning. And it was a big question mark because Impact himself, you know, was even talking in the interview about like he wasn't happy with his own performance and he needs to level up. He wasn't sounding very confident in the interview coming into this series from last week, which is really rare because almost always you interview Impact and you're like, well, how do you think it's going to go? And he's like, yeah, well, we're going to win. You know, it's going to be good. We're prepared. We're going to win. But he's like, well, I don't know if we can win. I'm not sure how it's going to go. You know, all this sort of stuff, and talking about how he wasn't happy with his performance. So it is interesting to see that. And it feels like this year is one of the first times ever in Impact's very lengthy, very successful career where you can point to him and say he's been a weak spot.
Yeah.
So it is interesting, and I'm happy to see him performing well in these couple games. Renekton, Annie, so pretty short range, pretty kind of straightforward first couple picks here for TL.
But double point and click stuns. This is what you go to if you're like, okay, we're not executing the way that we need to. You play point and click and you get it done. As someone who played a point-and-click champion for the majority of my league career, I respect this strategy.
Yeah,
that's what you got.
Why you had to get out of there once Skarner got updated. You know, that ulti's a skill shot now.
You can miss it. It feels bad.
Skill shots are not the CaptainFlowers way.
You feel like a chump if you miss it, and you look like one too. It's not a good feeling. Yeah. But we're going to have the Kai'Sa rounding out the first half of the draft here for Team Liquid. Over on the other side, Orianna and Cassante.
So I don't know if they would do it, but I do think Renata goes crazy against these kind of comps that TL have. I do feel like we've seen it from Core, you know, at times where he's been bringing out and then kind of had these amazing games on it. I do think Busio is someone who would be willing to do it. MaoKai, Cassante, Orianna versus a comp that has to dive past that, that is already really, really tough. And now if FlyQuest could get some powerful counter engage even coming from that bot lane, if you're going a safe AD carry plus something like Renata, I struggle to see how TL would win team fights, you know, even without seeing their last two picks. It's like anytime you have Renekton, Annie, Kai'Sa, you know what the comp is going to do. You're going to draft hard engage, you're going to go full send it. And I just feel like Renata hard counters that.
All right, well, I do respect what you're saying. I agree with you on Renata, but she is almost always paired with someone else. And if that someone else gets locked in, I'm full sending it over the edge of this desk. I refuse to cast that character anymore. So I hope...
interest you in a Renata plus hyper carry, you know, like a Renata Aphelios or something.
Okay, I'll buy that. I'll buy that. You give me Renata Aphelios,
no Kalista.
I'm down for it. Yeah,
Renata
exactly.
is innocent.
Yeah, okay.
Renata's just been hanging out with the wrong crowd.
Right,
you know?
exactly. She fell in with the wrong crew.
Exactly.
Okay, well, hopefully
is shady.
We can get her right back on track. We can help her get back to
just got to get that
winning ways
out of your life.
Yes, exactly. All right, so let's see.
Drop her like a bad habit.
Yes, because she is one, and a bad champion.
Yes.
Now, let's see what we've got in the second half of the...
FlyQuest are winning. I actually love that trend. Was it Busio? Was it I think Massu started it.
Massu and Busio were doing it.
Busio's life, we're going undefeated.
It's just like, hey, wait, what is it? Hold on a second, man. Double jungle bans here from FlyQuest in the second half as Nocturne and Jarvan are removed from the pool. Meanwhile, on the other side, very defensive options. It's exactly what you're talking about. You see Renekton, Annie, and Kai'Sa, you know they're going to full send. banned, so you get rid of the defensive options. The counter engage from Braum, the engage dodge from Xayah, both of those removed.
I called the Aphelios Renata.
Bro, if you called this,
you can also go send a TK, but
okay.
We'll see what they want to actually go for, and maybe they're just going to go neither of those. So,
all right,
okay, so it's going to be Lucian. Melio, also great counter engage. You know, he's one of the pairings that people do like alongside Lucian. Of course, Lucian Nami really popular. Braum is banned out, so that's not going to be the case. And so you would expect maybe the Melio or the Nami, but this split we've been seeing a lot more of just Lucian plus random support, where it felt like he had been
Renata.
Exactly. It felt like he had been glued to one of like 2 or 3 supports, and that's the only time you ever seen him. But this split around the world, we have been seeing a little bit more of that kind of adjustment, where it's like sometimes it's with something else.
Okay, all right. I'm calling the outset here.
Oh, Renata, let's go!
Mostly because I have to.
Boom.
And also comfort pick. We got the snap engage from Team Liquid. We have Rell on CoreJJ. Yeon is gone, is picking up the Kai'Sa. So I feel like this is going to be the most comfort they got here. And please, I'm just upset that this turns into a 3-0. I don't want it. You guys don't want it. Back to you.
Counterpoint, I think FlyQuest slammed the draft.
Yeah, I think Raz must have ate the last horn blowing thing instead or something, because this draft I feel like is unplayable for Team Liquid into Renata and MaoKai.
I mean, I will say, if you nail the engage and you one-shot the Lucian or the Ori, then they're very low damage.
Okay.
But
how are you going to do that through K'Sante and Renata and MaoKai?
I think you're not, which is why I said I think FlyQuest slammed the draft. But I'm trying to look out for my boy. He just took an L in the push-up contest. You know, now he's about to take an L with the air horn. You only get to blow in once with the upset horn.
Raz is just, it's just a constant stream of L's.
Also, fun fact
today.
If you get correct with the air horn, then you get to choose a punishment for the people who are wrong. I'm the only person who's gotten it correct so far.
Oh, so you're going to get to choose a punishment for everybody. Well, this morning we saw Raz really stumble with a jalapeno pepper. So maybe you could dare him to eat the pure unadulterated spice that is a jalapeno pepper.
Maybe something a little bit spicier.
Ooh.
We had to eat some heinous peppers on the dive. That was painful, and I like spice.
I remember seeing you guys do that because Kobe was chugging the milk and he acted like...
Kobe and Mitos were out of commission for like 20 minutes. I just had to solo the episode while my mouth was burning.
Yeah, Kobe looked like somebody shot him. He was really struggling with that pepper.
After they were both like, we are never doing this ever again.
Draw the line.
So maybe you can help me cook up some punishments.
All right, I'll see what we can think up here.
We'll see. Raz could be right.
Unless Raz is right. Okay, Raz, if you are right on this one, congratulations to Impact. By the way, the first player to achieve 700 career games in North America. This man has been a part of the NA ecosystem throughout the entire history of LCS, LTA, everything.
Let's see if he can celebrate with a dub, because that is quite the milestone. And this guy, you know, is deserving of all of the success he's had over the years, all the credit he's had over the years, but also, likewise, you know, you have to be able to realize that he has not been playing to that standard this year. I do think this series he's playing great, though, and I love to see that.
So I will say we're clowning on Raz a little bit because you and I both disagree with his call out on the draft. But
because we love our boy Raz.
Exactly. That's what you do. That's bros being bros. However, I will say, Raz, I will admit live on air after this game, if Team Liquid wins, that you are 100% right, and I need to get on your level. Because you must be seeing something here that I'm not seeing.
But unfortunately, he will be incorrect.
It appears that is where my prediction would be as well. But we'll see what Team Liquid can do with this. It's a full death ball, full send composition. If you can get an early kill for Viego, maybe Yuuji can pop off and really start racking up some of those kills, but it's very difficult.
I mean, that is the style of comp that they're drafting for, right? It's about the one-shot. It's about you full send it, you burst down one target, you get the resets. But that is so problematic because Busio's character is designed to stop that. You all pile in on one person and one-shot them, bail out. Okay, now you're all stacked up. Hostile takeover. Okay, now what, right? And that is kind of
the fight's over.
That's kind of the problem. And then you're like, well, let's just depend on Busio to mess that up. And brother has been on fire.
Game,
Exactly. So it is really, really tough. They are low on damage on the FlyQuest side, though. So if you can one-shot Massu or Quad, then you're kind of just left with Renata and some meatballs, and maybe you just win the fight that way. So I think that is the hope for TL. But I said it, you know, after the first 3 picks, I think Renata hard counters this draft. I fully believe that after seeing the full draft. And MaoKai, very difficult to engage through as well. So is K'Sante. So I think TL have their work super cut out for them.
Plus, it's that classic conundrum that we always talk about when MaoKai and Renata are on the same team, having to deal with wanting to group up for MaoKai's ulti, so the roots only get to hit one person, versus wanting to space out against the hostile takeover. It just creates a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it's you can try to go for different targets, but if you go for all different targets, well, you don't have enough damage to kill them anyway. So it does become very difficult. But if you can get some really good AoE stuns, like if APA can get in there and multi-man stun, then maybe you can burst someone down before we do see that bailout come through or something along those lines. But it would be fun to talk a little bit more about APA and Quad. I feel like APA has been playing well in this series overall, for the most part, especially his last game I think was really, really strong. But this is some of their past heights that they have actually achieved. And APA has been part of that TL top side that has been receiving a lot of criticism throughout this split. I think Quad as well, also receiving a little bit of criticism as having a bit more of a down split. But these guys, their highs have been so high, and we really want to see them playing at that level. Not just to make NA really competitive, but also to be able to represent us internationally. Because every top team in the world, when you go international, has a godlike mid lane.
Their mid laners are insane.
Always. Every team that is going to be threatening for those world championships, it's like, well, you're going up against Faker, you're going up against Chovy, you're going up against all of these guys that are so difficult to actually beat. So that is the hill that they'll have to climb if they do want to go international and have that success.
Support's just enjoying the sights, sounds, and smells of bottom lane, as they don't really need to attack each other or anything a whole lot.
Does Rell smell like a horse or metal?
I feel like the metal would probably be the smell because the horse is made. I don't think there's real horse there.
It's not like a horse encased in metal, it's just metal?
No, because the horse comes apart and becomes armor when she's dismounted, remember?
What if it's a magical horse?
I mean, it is a magical horse. It's made of metal, but it's alive. That's what I mean. Like, oh boy, hold on. Could be a little bit of trouble here for Bwipo. Caught off in a bit of a bad spot. Only level 5, so he can't go all out. Instead, tries to get a little bit of damage back on Impact, but a nice heal with a Call of the Meek. Means Team Liquid's getting first blood.
Yeah, nicely done. Going to be able to grab a first blood. Impact gets the kill this time. It is not a solo, but able to take down Bwipo, which does feel really nice. And a little bit of an advantage there already, but even with that kill, it is still just even in gold because FlyQuest are creating these advantages. We saw that Yeon obviously swapped out of that lane first. It is 12 CS edge for Massu currently. Of course, that will likely even out a bit over time, but that's looking good. Yuuji looking mid lane, though.
Yeah, this could be a good play here onto Quad, who's trying to get away still. Flash Spectral Maw finds the target at just the right angle, but they still need a little bit more damage to get it done. Quad still has his flash available as well as Impact tries to escape on the bottom side of the map. Yuuji not going to find that second Spectral Maw as Bwipo's making sure Yeon can't get in the way and block off the escape. Impact still under pressure down here on the bottom side at the same time. Piercing Light, one more auto, gets it done. Massu takes out Impact, makes it a 1-for-1 game as Quad escapes up at the top side, but now Bwipo's still under pressure. Yuuji going to find another stun there, and they force out a second flash.
Yeah, that is crazy that Quad was able to actually escape from that situation, but his wave is not great. It looked like APA was able to push it in, and his next wave stacked up, so it's going to push away from him as well. So Quad is going to miss out on some minions from this, so it's not that it had no value. You can also see, knowing that it is a really high damage comp, he's going a tanky build. He's going Roa on the Orianna here, so already has that catalyst.
And Bwipo's going in a 1v2. He goes all out to force Yeon's flash. Bwipo's just saying, CoreJJ does not matter. I have enough drain tanking to survive the damage of both of these guys, and he puts the pressure on the Team Liquid carry.
But does he have enough to survive Yuuji?
Yeah, Yuuji's on the way up here. Pathmaker to try to get away, but the Spectral Maw is still ready to go. Bwipo still trying to walk it off here. You can't get too close to the turret against K'Sante, so he's just going to tell him to get on out of town.
Yeah, throws down a little taunt to add insult to injury as Yuuji up here again. They're going back in.
CoreJJ with a flash engage. Bwipo finally dies, and Core stabs him in the back with the lance. Bwipo just getting a little bit too full of himself there and gets punished for it.
Yeah, going to get punished. Now the question is, can they stop the recall? They cannot. He had a shield, so even if that hit, it would not have stopped the recall. So as long as the damage is shielded, he is fine. And because he used the crash down before the recall, even if the W hits, he's out of there scot-free. So Core able to punish Bwipo a little bit too confident. You know,
a little bit cocky.
Spam a little bit of dance moves on him after he got away, and then does get Q-flashed and taken down. And meanwhile, Impact is pushing through bot, going to be able to grab a plate there for himself. And he's up 20 CS and a plate and a kill. So he has 700 gold ahead of Bwipo, who has been put under a lot of pressure. You know, they've been ganking him a lot. Yeon went up there. They 2v1'd him early. And Bwipo has not been able to pick up farm. That being said, the rest of the team is doing well. Massu, nearly as much ahead. Just about 600 gold at this point, up on where Yeon is. And Kai'Sa from behind, usually not that fun to play.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good experience, especially dealing with somebody like Lucian, who also likes to fight at close range. Sometimes Kai'Sa, if she's from behind, you can still get a good assassination attempt onto the enemy carry if he's not adept at defending himself all alone.
Bigger gun. It's no fair.
Yeah, Lucian's got 2 guns. Like, this is a little bit of a problem. But FlyQuest are going to go ahead, start up the Void Grubs for themselves. Busio will see CoreJJ there in that brush, thanks to the ward. Core drops down a control ward of his own to try to regain control over this part of the jungle, but Inspired is going to claim grub number 1 already. FlyQuest do have their ultis ready to go. That MaoKai ulti is just there to create space. Make sure that Team Liquid cannot get any closer here just yet. The 3rd grub is left alive. FlyQuest will be happy enough just taking the first 2.
Yeah, there's a bit of a strange ulti there from Inspired. The angle, for me, was a bit of a question mark, but Bwipo looking.
This could be a little bit of a problem here for Impact. Yes, he's got a gold lead, but Bwipo's feeling pretty strong. Ult for ult between the K'Sante and Renekton.
Yeah, almost takes down Impact there, and Quad is now moving. Good sidestep from Impact, but we'll see. If Impact over chases, Quad's going to be behind him, and he could look for this.
Yeah, that 3rd Intofo strike nearly hit. But remember that Bwipo has no mana to work with, but a nice shockwave there. Still does plenty of damage onto the Croc. Impact still trying to get away. Bwipo has enough for 1 Intofo strike. Call the Meek, trying to get a little bit of extra healing, but it won't matter. A punch in the kidneys, and Impact is down. Bwipo's on the board.
Yeah, nice roam there from Quad, covering Bwipo after that all-in attempt. Impact is seeing, he's out of mana. But the funny thing about K'Sante, no matter how low the mana bar looks, he can always press Q, man. That thing costs nothing at all.
Somebody get Showmaker on the phone. We know what time it is. It's K'Sante Pasta. As Bwipo arrives right in the middle of CoreJJ and Yeon, and seemingly does not care at all. Yeon finds a quick burst on him, but really it doesn't do a whole lot of anything. I mean, Bwipo's got Bramble, Ruby Crystal, Chain Vest. He's pretty tanky for this point.
Yeah, he is very, very tanky. And especially when you're going up against a team like this, it's like there's not really many team fights that you can kind of conjure up in your mind where Annie can be focusing K'Sante and you can win the team fight, right?
Yeah, it's impossible.
Exactly. So if Annie can't be hitting K'Sante, what kind of damage does literally everyone else do? Well, it's all physical. So all K'Sante needs to do is stack 1,000,000 armor, and you're going to be a brick wall, because even if you walk at the Annie, yeah, sure, she can spend all her spells on you, but it's not going to win the fight. Like, if you spell your full combo onto K'Sante, even if you kill him, you're probably getting crushed for it.
And there's still probably a little magic damage on the Kai'Sa, too, because she's a hybrid champion. But again, I feel like the most magic resistance you would ever need to buy in this game is a Jack Show. And that's still extra armor. It's still going to magnify your armor when it procs. It's just a very comfortable itemization path for Bwipo this game, as FlyQuest are up about 1,000. They do have the 2-1 grub lead. It's another game in this series where we're seeing very, very low priority on Drakes. This is the first Drake of the game, and it's not being targeted, prioritized, however you want to word it, till about 11 minutes in. FlyQuest will go ahead and pick it up, though. That means they're going to have credit towards 2 out of 3 of those neutral objectives. They also have 2 kills, but so does Team Liquid, so the Feat of Warfare could still go either way, too.
It is going to be very likely just like full crit Lucian. He did go Kraken first, so he's going to be going for this really high DPS build. It's not Essence Reaver, it's not Collector, it's nothing like that. Kraken not very common at all, but it is definitely a really high DPS build that you can go full crit. It's obviously just hard to pilot when you are playing Lucian and you're not playing kind of more of these caster style builds. Like, you need to be autoing, you need to be hitting non-stop, but if you can actually really manage it and stay in the mix and stay safe, which I think the Renata is designed to help you do, then you can put out a tremendous amount of damage. And even though people don't think of Lucian as a scaling champion, your late game DPS is pretty insane with these builds if you can manage it.
APA drops the Tibbers there onto Quad just to maintain control over the lane. Gets about 40% of his HP, but really nothing super impressive. Core and Yuuji still both hanging around in case FlyQuest wanted to try anything. Tibbers is about a third of the way dead. Meanwhile, back over in mid, Massu finding a massive chunk of damage there. That's the burst from the Kraken Slayer. And you're talking about how the Renata facilitates Lucian being able to do that damage. I also feel like the enemy team facilitates Lucian being able to do that damage. Everybody is going to be in melee range. Everybody is going to be a potential target. And as long as Masu's confident, he can find a lot of DPS. Yeon flashing out there to escape death at Masu's hands. Busio shows up down here in the bottom lane, but when Quad can't find the immediate combo that he's looking for, it just means APA can walk away.
Yeah, and I mean, they see Yuuji, so they're saying, okay, we're not going to actually chase in on this, but Massu at the end of the day, 1v1 under Yeon's turret, almost solo killed him and forced his flash, right? They trade ults. That is really good from Massu, being able to put the pressure on here. He knows he has a big advantage, and he wants to be able to utilize that. He's up a good 30 CS at this point, so he's Azael ahead, and is going to be feeling really confident about his positioning. You can see that Busio rushes the Mikhails. This is something that I do really like that is very common from him. He's almost always looking for this in good spots.
Oh, and now Massu has flash and Yeon doesn't. Massu is making Yeon look silly here as the Lucian is so powerful at this point. Bwipo again targeted by Team Liquid, but I'm not going to lie, Isaac, trying to hit Bwipo like a loot pinata all game, it doesn't feel like Team Liquid is getting the dividends from this that they want.
No, they're really not. I mean, you're hitting this thing, but getting a couple lumps of coal for your reward. It's not a lot.
Oh boy.
I mean, he's gotten a full thorn mail at this point. He didn't even sit on the bramble, and I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's bot gap. Massu is just slamming Yeon right now, able to put the pressure on him, force out that flash because of some really aggressive play. You know, it's not like Yeon was super overstepping. He's under his tower, and you forced out his flash and his ult, and then he comes back to lane, and you're flashing in, you're getting that kill, you're putting yourself ahead, you're utilizing Kraken plus PTA, double procs there. This guy hurts a lot. I mean, that is half of Core's health gone with a Q and a couple autos.
And he knows he can just dash in like that. Busio is right behind him. If Team Liquid tries to turn it, boom, bailout, boom, hostile takeover, boom on Bwipo perhaps, as they burst him down to about 20% HP. He's trying to survive underneath the turret. He knows he needs to try to stay here. Meanwhile, Massu looking for McCulling up at the top side. River Bwipo's already going to die as FlyQuest looks to get something back. Busio still chasing, inspired right behind him, but they won't find anything. 3-3 game.
Yeah, I mean, they bring APA up, and again, there's no MR on Bwipo right now, so you can put that pressure on him, but meanwhile, Quad is taking down this tower. It took 3U to get that done on the top side. FlyQuest take down the bottom tier 1. They're pushing down this mid tier 1. It's just CoreJJ to defend, so this is going to drop as well. So you are getting a ton down. Eventually, they will get that top tier 1 to answer, but FlyQuest claim feats. And yeah, you've killed Bwipo a number of times, but honestly, who cares? Your Lucian is so far ahead. It does not matter if K'Sante is a bit behind this game, really at all. And like I was touching on before that fight broke out, Busio loves going for early Mikhails. Yeah. And when you're looking over at this comp, you're thinking, okay, well, how do we lose? You know, it's like a flash Tibbers, it's a flash stun from Impact. It's something like that. And now you have the Mikhails to be able to answer that. You have all the counter engage. You have so many tools, including the cleanse on Massu, to be able to shut this down. And he's got Navori quick blades done. He is monstrously strong. If you ever watch pro players warming up, a lot of them will do this, where they'll be playing Lucian and they go for quick blades and giga high attack speed, and they'll be sitting there seeing how quickly and how perfectly they can combo on Lucian on target dummies. Yeah. It's something that you'll see a lot of the players do. Quid loves to do this, Quad loves to do this, a lot of the AD carries loves to do this. And it is fun seeing how quick they can get with like max attack speed, full build, Navori, just perfectly rotating through those spells.
I mean, it's one of the most mechanically intense challenges in League of Legends because there is just such a high ceiling for what you can do. And when a player does it well, it looks really slick.
It looks crazy.
It looks like something that's being performed by like a tool-assisted speedrun or something. But it's really challenging to be able to execute it in the moment, not just against some target dummy that doesn't shoot back, but having to navigate a fight where you're also avoiding threats, spacing out against opponents. It's tough to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, people think of Lucian as kind of this weak late game champ. Then you watch one of the best Lucian players do it, and you're like, oh, never mind, I just suck. Yeah,
no, it turns out Lucian's really good. The pilot may be the problem sometimes. as
User error.
Yeah, APA can go ahead and escape Quad's wrath up there in the top side, but FlyQuest are going to acquire their second Drake of the game. So that's both Drakes, 2 out of 3 grubs, a 2,000 gold lead for a team that's dead even in kills. This is reminding me a lot of game number 1, where the kills don't have to be the big advantage. FlyQuest is just winning out all over the map in different ways.
Yep, absolutely. And again, they're answering what the win conditions are for TL. You know, I touched on this tankier build from Quad. He went into the Roa. He's going Roa Leandries with Merc Treads, right? Like, he is not going to be just one shot by nothing. It is going to be AP MaoKai. You know, you could try to burst him down if you want, but I don't think that's going to be a winning recipe when the Lucian and the Orianna are this strong. So they're going to have to find, I think, clever picks, clever engages. When they land CC, it can't all be spent on one person. you kind of have to land massive AoE CC and somehow catch Busio involved in that too, where then it's really hard to decide, okay, well, who do I bail out? Because 3 people are getting low at once. We all got CC'd. That's where you can kind of deal with Renata. But when everything is point and click on one person, it is so easy. You just press W, and then you press R, and then you're kind of laughing at them.
It's like, all right, game's over, fight's over. Nothing can really happen here. APA hanging out in the brush, seeing if maybe there's an opportunity to do something here, but there's really not. Quad almost has his shockwave ready to go yet again. FlyQuest still up about 2,000 gold. Nothing to fight for on the map unless you just want to fight for the sake of fighting, and we'll see. Maybe they want to. Maybe they want to try to continue pushing that advantage further ahead. Utilize Massu on this Lucian. Team Liquid just trying to clear out some vision, not allow themselves to lose further control over this map and over this game. And FlyQuest are fine just continuing to farm. You've got 2 minutes until Otacon spawns, 3 minutes until the next Drake is up. CoreJJ and Yeon here looking at Busio, going after the Renata, who uses the self-McHales. Busio gets away, and now the counterattack coming in from Massu and FlyQuest. CoreJJ is first to die, but Yeon's about to join him. He goes in for the killer instinct. He gets 1 kill, but he goes down in the process. A double kill for Massu's Lucian, as Yuuji still tries to escape and will manage to close that distance and get to safety. But it was an attempt from Team Liquid that was not good enough, and FlyQuest get the punish.
And the presence of mind there on Massu.
Oh, Inspired stole away the blue buff, and he's still chasing after Yuuji, who's got to now flash over the wall to escape Bwipo's follow-up.
I mean, Massu was totally but he's running presence of mind, right? So you get that first kill, you're getting back a big injection of mana. So I was thinking, well, this actually looks like a pretty good fight from TL, but as soon as he got that 1 kill, he gets mana to then be able to put the pressure on Yeon and take him down as well. He's working in towards the Infinity Edge. Like, this is crazy from Massu. He's so far ahead and has so many tools to keep him safe. Between all the counter engage, the Renata we've talked immense amounts about, but even the Orianna shields, and Massu is just confident now.
He just dashes over the wall immediately with the pursuit. He does not care who's there from Team Liquid because he's got Busio behind him, and he knows he has enough damage to kill anybody in the time that the bailout's going to give him. He doesn't even need it. FlyQuest pick up another kill, 3,500 gold lead, and Team Liquid are struggling to find anything here in this 3rd game.
Yeah, we'll see if they can find a way in. Impact laying in wait, but again, we have seen them go at Bwipo so many times that even if you kill him, it just hasn't resulted in much of an advantage for Impact. Impact got that early kill, did have a pretty significant early advantage. Now there's 3 members here, but we'll see.
All right, Bwipo is going to try to walk it out with the Pathmaker. Goes all out, flashes, he's chilling.
Maybe they start Otacon off this. I think that's honestly not a bad look. You just got flash, you just got ult. You're losing this game hard, so you got to do something.
Okay, APA walks into the tri-brush though, and Bwipo is still ready and waiting, just dueling with APA and Tibbers, now creating a little bit of extra distance as Busio and Massu show up on the side, and Inspired's ready to join in here with the MaoKai ulti. APA stuck at the front line. Busio looking to follow the rest of the team, so Massu can get in there. Yeon is already down. Inspired takes the kill. Impact about to fall as he flies over the wall here with a blast cone, and FlyQuest are cleaning up everybody. Quad's ready to keep on chasing, and APA will be next to die. CoreJJ and Impact are on the run, and the fight is an absolute massacre. It's a 3-for-1. Yeah, Bwipo dies, but the only thing it gotcha was a lost team fight.
Yeah, and it's the walk of shame for Shelly as well. Spawns in base while you're dead. As I don't mind the attempts because they're already down 4K. I feel like they got pretty hard countered in draft. And they had Bwipo with no flash, no ult, so all right, let's try it. But in comes Massu, in comes Busio. Look at Yeon on the side. How is he supposed to play? Yeon has to go for the killer instinct into the backline, but he's at 5% health because Massu got in on him. He was split from the rest of the team. Yeon is just gone immediately, so even though you do eventually get the kill on a Bwipo, it just doesn't matter. APA has spent everything. Yeon is gone. There's no damage left in the tank for TL. And Spawn knows it. That was the last shot for them in this series. It's looking like it's going to be a 3-0 unless there's some sort of miracle you can pull off, because not only did you lose that fight, you lost the Otacon, so now they are 5,000 gold ahead, plus a massive amount of adaptive stats, plus they're about to move to Soul Point, and you have the Infinity Edge done to make matters even worse. Massu is going to be unstoppable, and TL just not living up to their own expectations. They want to be a team that is, competing for championships, that is doing well internationally, and FlyQuest has stolen their mantle away from them. And it's got to be frustrating to know that. And
I think that's where a lot of that frustration that we see on the coach cam from Spawn, from the back room for Team Liquid, is coming from. Because they know they want to be contenders. They know that they want to be challenging for one of those 2 slots for Worlds. And right now it's tough. Team Liquid trying to maybe make a surprise play here, try to catch FlyQuest in their own jungle. Bwipo's going to be the front line, though, and that's exactly where he wants to be. Team Liquid trying to get everybody out. The MaoKai ulti's not going to find anybody, but a hostile takeover hits 3. Team Liquid still all alive, though, and Bwipo will be the only one to die in the fight. Team Liquid's gambit works out.
Yeah, they do get the kill, but unfortunately there's no objectives. There's nothing to go to, and Quad will be able to finish off his tower. You have to think eventually. Doesn't want to risk it, so is going to be backing off, but almost got the tier 2 there. We'll see if Impact can get any sort of a chase down. I think Quad is just going to walk it
way
out.
Too tanky.
Yeah, there's just no real attempt to be able to do that. And so now we're looking towards this next dragon here. Baron's going to be up in 2 minutes, but I feel like everyone is going to be thinking about that Mountain Dragon. It is the worst soul to give over with this kind of comp for TL, right? Your only way to win is one-shotting one of the carries. Mountain Soul Shield makes that much more difficult. It makes it really, really tough. So you cannot give that. There is no way I see them coming back if they do give it. So TL is going to have to try to find some sort of really good setup, find a way to either steal that away or get picks prior to it to be able to try to navigate their way back into this game. Otherwise, FlyQuest is looking at a sweep. It would not be a sweep in the way that we expected it because Game 2 was so contested.
Yeah.
But definitely, would be the result that I think most people would have predicted still at the end of the day.
I mean, if you look at the kills without looking at where they're at, it looks like it's not that far apart just in terms of the kills that have been racked up, right? 6 versus 9. But then you look at where they are, 5 of the deaths on FlyQuest are Bwipo. Yep. You've only killed K'Sante. He's still 2.5 items K'Sante. He'll still be able to do his job.
And it's great. Renekton's up 50 CS. But then you look, oh, MaoKai's up 50 CS. Oh, mid lane's up 40 CS. Oh, the Lucian is up almost 70 CS, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, which would you rather have? The K'Sante be down or everyone else? And, it has been difficult. They just haven't been able to find the angles to punish these other players. I think they are more comfortable putting Bwipo in these risky spots where he's out in the side lane, knowing that he could be playing weak side, because they know if you go and you send 3 and you dive him, then we're going to take something else. And if you only send 1 or 2, well, you can't dive him. You can't actually punish him. So it is well played here by FlyQuest. Bwipo sacrificing for the team somewhat, but FlyQuest cruising right now. Baron spawning here in 30. Going to be playing for vision around that, but your job to find picks gets even harder when you're playing against MaoKai, because there's going to be a sapling in every brush. Like, he doesn't have to face check anything. And that is some of the kind of hidden power, or maybe not that hidden, of MaoKai.
And Inspired now going to be targeted by CoreJJ's engage, but the counterattack from FlyQuest begins now. Yeon is rooted up, isolated from the rest of the team. No way out for the AD carry. And as he dies, Baron marks his grave. We'll see if FlyQuest just want to start that up right now. They've already got the vision control. Impact being chased off to the side there by Quad. Inspired is down to about 40% HP, so keep your eyes on him. A kill on the jungler could be big here for Team Liquid if they can find it. APA blocked off by Bwipo, who does not want to allow him any closer to the objective. The initial burst on Inspired couldn't kill him. It does have him low enough that it at least stops FlyQuest from going after the Baron right now. APA eats half of a culling for half of his HP, and FlyQuest will just settle with a 1 kill for now.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if Bwipo's not tanking the Baron, I don't think you can just do it like that, right? It is still a 25-minute Baron.
Yeah.
And Inspired is full AP. Like, he does just kind of die to it. So they didn't have anyone to tank up the Baron, so they couldn't really go for it. But either way, they do absorb the engage. They tried to full send it on Inspired, but Busio is right behind him with the insta-Mikhails, and that allows enough time for Inspired to be able to get back, throw down his ult, and try to turn that around. And Yeon again goes down, as we are seeing Massu move even further ahead. Has the extra BF sword on top. Quad already super tanky, has the Seekers done now. Already had that fully stacked Roa plus Leandries, so this guy is going to be incredibly tough to knock down. 3,200 HP plus the Seekers is tough.
And I mean, we talk a lot about how Yeon is the star player on Team Liquid. Like, this is the guy that carries the games. But it's the double-edged sword of that is if Yeon is having a bad game, it's very hard for Team Liquid to look good. And right now, the biggest individual gold difference is between him and Massu on the Lucian. Now, Team Liquid is thinking about full sending it here. A firing squad for Quad, but he pops the Seeker's arm guard and stays alive, gets out of the range of the Spectral Maw, and the Shockwave finds them all. CoreJJ's gonna die first. Quad's still alive a little bit longer, but he's finally shut down by Yeon. But it costs them everything. Bwipo's going in after APA, and it won't matter how many times Bwipo's died so far this game. APA is not getting away from that one. FlyQuest, the only member left alive on Team Liquid is Impact, and they're going to feel comfortable going after this Dragon as Inspired just stands there. He's like, all right, I got you, buddy. And actually, this is smart because you're desyncing the death timer. You are delaying the death timer and making it so now Team Liquid has less men on the map for longer. That is a 50-second death timer that's still going to have 30 seconds left once Yuuji and Yeon respawn.
Exactly. And it's not just about style on him. It's about saying, no, you're going to be dead for longer. But let's look at this engage. The flash in, quad, insta-stasis. That is so smart, buying the time. Then he flashes back, denies the Spectral Maw, 3-man shockwave, pulls them perfectly apart. And now watch Busio coming in from the top. Quad is going to die, surely, right? No. Flashes in from Busio. Heal, bailout, buys even more time, throws down the Mikhails. Yes, you do eventually finish him off, but it takes so long, and your whole team has to stand to the tower for so long that it is an easy turnaround. And FlyQuest
you're the best player in the world. That's it's definitely looking like a good day for Busio here on the Rift. Mountain Soul for FlyQuest, 8,000 gold lead for FlyQuest. Everything going their way, and hey, that play gave Quad enough money to upgrade the arm guard into the hourglass, so now the stasis is ready to go again. CoreJJ might just die to Massu here. That is a level 16 Lucian against a level 9 Rell. That goes exactly one way and one way only, as Yeon has to flash out of the range of the culling and the MaoKai ulti. Otherwise, he faces certain death as well.
It's Baron o'clock, I think. They are nearly 10K ahead. They have the Mountain Soul. Yeah, just can't even hurt Quad, really, at this point. He can easily stand up to this. If they overpush mid, FlyQuest can look for the engage there. Otherwise, they just pull back, get vision around the Baron, and they can look for plays.
Oh, boy. This might be the play right here. APA flashing over the wall to stay safe, but now there's no flash, no Tibbers on the Annie. There's not a lot of tools to work with here on Team Liquid's side. Yeon doesn't have his flash either. That's 2 carries, 0 flashes in a game where you're already this far behind.
Yeah, all the additional move speed as well being thrown down on Quad as he pops the W, speeds himself up, but then you're also getting the bailout, which gives you that additional move speed towards enemies.
Yeah.
So no way for APA to get out of there without just flashing. Inspired even going to be able to take away this blue buff. And he's going to look, but it's Bwipo again.
That's not the target that's going to work. CoreJJ jumps in, and FlyQuest will happily send him packing with the main engage, with the big AoE crash down with Magnet Storm not in the picture. It's Baron time. Let's go.
It's for sure an uncontested Baron. You can see as soon as Core dies there, FlyQuest is going to go for it, and Yuuji's not even moving, right? He's just going down towards the bot side. They see the objective bounties are up. APA is like, well, maybe I can get a tier 1 bot. Of course, that is not going to be much of a consolation prize, but if you can't stop them anyway, may as well get something. I mean, Yeon with no flash, APA with no flash, no ulti, Core dead. How are you ever going to stop that?
There's no way.
But the question is also, how are you ever going to stop this Baron push, right? How do you ever win this game when FlyQuest has already been in such control the whole time, have all their luxury items through, and now they're diving?
Impact is already about to die to the calling as Bwipo goes all out to start the dive. Just Bwipo and Massu nearly kill Impact. They force the Dominus out of the Renekton immediately, and the entire time the rest of FlyQuest was taking care of the tier 3 turret in the mid lane. So now 2 separate inhibitors are exposed as Bwipo takes his recall, he buys his Jack Show, and he teleports back to join the rest of the team. It's a full push from FlyQuest. They want to end the game right here, 30 minutes in. MaoKai Root finds Yuuji, but he's all the way behind the Nexus. Nexus turret's about to die before Team Liquid even has a chance to fight back. CoreJJ goes in for the crash down, finds both carries, but what does it matter? Massu's already legendary. Impact has nothing left in the tank. Yuuji and everybody else on TL caught up once more inside the shockwave as they at least get a shutdown on Inspire, but it's a triple kill back over to Massu. Game's done. Series 1, FlyQuest 3-0.